The time has come for the Decidueye PvP IV Deep Dive, taking a look at Decidueye's most important stat checks and associated PvP IVs in the Great League, using both Astonish and Leafage as fast moves, and then using Spirit Shackle, Frenzy Plant, and Brave Bird as charge moves in Pokemon Go. If you're not too familiar with the PvP IV Deep Dive series, link up above and in the description to my PvP IVs simplified video. Basically get your feet wet before you dive off into the deep end here. And if you want to reference any of the stat checks or get the links to the PvP IV tables that I feature in this video, link in the description to my article on GamePress, the Decidueye PvP IV Deep Dive. And for everybody trying to tune in on Community Day here, my apologies. I thought it was on Sunday, not Saturday, so I thought I had time. Here we have 51 different Great League PvP IVs for Decidueye, meeting what I consider to be the minimum standard for bulk on a Great League Decidueye, using 115.29 as the defense minimum and 118 as the HP minimum. The defense check here is specifically based on like a CMP-minded Sableye or a more attack-weighted Alola Marowak, like from my Alola Marowak PvP IV Deep Dive. And this defense level also keeps the 118 HP consistent, and for some matchups makes the 119 HP more consistent. As far as the 118 HP goes, that is specific for some Poliwrath and Shadow Poliwrath matchups, and then also for the Carbink, like 2-2 shield scenario. You're using the Leafage, they're using the Rock Throw, they won't be able to outbulk you as long as you're hanging on tight with the 118 HP. Now when it comes to the defense and the HP, there is some wiggle room on the defense side. You can trade down defense for more HP, and I'd say as a bare minimum, I'd say 113.7 defense would be a pretty hard minimum for the Decidueye defense, and if you are going that low on the defense, then you'll want to have 120 or 121 HP. So that list would look like this, and is also linked on GamePress in the description there. Which one's better? Personally, I kind of favor the 121 HPers because it does give you a bit more wiggle room, and with the 121 HP with Leafage, you do have a unique scenario against the Shadow Poliwrath, where if you get an early Spirit Shackle debuff on them, you could clean them out without having to throw a charge move, which would then save energy and a charge move for the next Pokemon in. You wouldn't be getting that 100% of the time, but when it comes to the other tie/win scenarios that are HP based for the Shadow Poliwrath, higher HP makes that more consistent in general. It's just with the 121 HP, you've got that additional chance to maybe overcome it even better should you get that early debuff. The 121 HP can also help secure the Bronzong 2-shield situation. They think they can just no-throw confusion you down, and they don't exactly have it like that because you got the 121 HP. This can be a little risky though, because if they're attack weighted enough, then they could get the breakpoint on you. But this is just like an additional feature that could happen. 121 HP is just generally good to begin with. This is like a additional perk further beyond that could help you out. For Astonish Decidueye though, 120 HP is a-okay for some of the higher checks if you want to have a little bit more on the defense, or if you want to have a little bit of an attack weight. When it comes to the higher defense side of the force, if you are pushing well above 116 defense, you could get a defense breakpoint against the Shadow Dragonair, which is significant for both Astonish and Leafage Decidueye. And you could also possibly get a defense breakpoint against Sirfetch'd and Vigoroth. All three of these Pokemon can reasonably have higher attack weights, which will make the defense breakpoint unchaseable. It's just like if you happen to get the rank 7, maybe, just maybe, if you're in a meta that has a lot of Sirfetch'd, Vigoroth, or Shadow Dragonair, you could possibly pull ahead. And you still got the 118 HP, so you're really not shooting yourself in the foot by going in this direction. When it comes to the attack weight of Decidueye, one thing to highlight first would be getting Trevenant CMP, Charge Move Priority. My favorite Trevenant is going to have 127.3 attack for my Trevenant PvP IV Deep Dive. Link up above and in the description. It's super old, but all the stats still hold up to this day, so that's pretty cool. Trevenant could be expected to have up to 128 attack though, so if you are deadly serious about getting charge move priority, then you might want to have a bit more attack than the 127. And then Emolga, should it come up, has charge move priority starting at 127.8 attack. From what I've seen from Emolga in the past, because I was thinking about using it in a tournament, it does want to be a bit attack weighted, so probably unchaseable for the charge move priority. But a lot of people out there do like to just stick with their rank 1's high stat product, so if you do have a little bit more beef on your attack, you could expect to get charge move priority on Emolga. For the Astonish Decidueye, having at least 127.61 attack can also be nice. It can get you a breakpoint on Gligar and Artabax, potentiating the 2-1 shield scenario against both of them. If you have an even higher attack stat, or if your opponent's got a lower defense stat, then you could possibly get the Cresselia 1-2 shield scenario against a Grass Knot Moonblast one. You could get attack breakpoint against the Shadow Magnezone. You could possibly maybe get a Frenzy Plant breakpoint against Lickitung, and it could possibly help out in the 1-0 shield situation. And maybe, just maybe, you could get a charge move breakpoint on Shadow Charizard. When it comes to the Leafage side of the force, 127.61 is also an attack breakpoint recommendation for it. Also helping out against Gligar in the 2-1 shield scenario, securing that victory with the Frenzy Plant. And then you can also potentially open up the 0-1 shield scenario with the Brave Bird. This attack stat can also help out with the Wigglytuff 1-1 and 2-1 shield scenarios using Shield Shackle and Spirit Shackle and Brave Bird. Can also help against Pelipper in the 0-0 with Frenzy Plant, and the Azumarill 1-1 shield scenario with the Spirit Shackle and the Brave Bird. Potential there, because if the Azumarill is bulky enough, then it might hang on with like 1 or 2 HP. If you have a bit more attack, you might be able to shave one of those HP points off. So not something that you'll do 100% of the time, but something that you could possibly do if it were to come up. Even higher attack weights on the Leafage one could get a charge move breakpoint against the Altaria, which I think is pretty cheeky with the Brave Bird. If you're up against a lower HP weighted Altaria, like one that's just kind of riding the edge from my Altaria PvP IV deep dive, you could maybe tilt that Brave Bird damage up enough to beat it in the 1-0 shield situation. Then there's also the Toxicroak 1-1 and 2-2 shield scenarios that you could get a breakpoint with Leafage on, which would be quite nice should you run into that guy. It can also give you a little bit more consistency against double in the 1-0 shield situation with the Frenzy Plant. And then it can also help out against Dugong. You could get the 1-0 with Spirit Shackle only if you're in that kind of tango, but this is the rank 1 Dugong. Rank 1 Dugong has a little bit lower defense than the Dugongs that I recommend, so it might be a little bit of a unchaseable attack breakpoint there. Oh yeah, also forgot to mention, for 127.61, you could reasonably get a breakpoint on Spark Lantern, which could let you get the 0-1 shield situation with Spirit Shackle with no debuff. So if you just want to throw Spirit Shackles, maybe you don't even have the Frenzy Plant, you could overcome that matchup. Of course, my recommended Spark Lanterns do have a bit higher of a defense, so once again, it could be tricky to get that 100% of the time. I'd say for the most part for Decidueye, just focus on the bulk heavy side of the force, and then if you do have a little bit of an attack weight going on, just be mindful of the advantages that you could be getting from that. So as far as IVs that I'd recommend go, if you're interested on the defense side of things, I really like the rank 7 and the rank 1 most of all. Rank 1's got the 119 HP, so that can make you more consistent in some situations, but if you're really chasing the defense breakpoint, then the rank 7 is kind of the way to go on that side of things. When it comes to having like a slight attack weight, I do like the ranks, where are they, 13 and 14. When it comes to the attack side of things, I really like the ranks 13 and 14. 13 being a little bit lower on the attack side, but having a little bit more defense than the rank 14. Rank 14 being a little bit more consistent for the attack breakpoints, but risking it a little bit on the defense, but overall having the 119 HP to help clean things up. Then when it comes to the even higher attack weight recommendations, the rank 32 and the rank 34 are both pretty spectacular for having that higher attack stat while maintaining a good level of bulk. When it comes to the higher HP side of things, I like the rank 8 and 9 because they got the 121 HP. One's got a little bit more defense, one's got a little bit more attack, so if you want the attack breakpoint potential, rank 9. If you want to just be a little bit more fortified, then you got the rank 8 here for you. Then when it comes to like the ranks 3, 4, 5, 6, All of them are perfectly a-okay, all got the 120 HP, and all of them trade a little attack for a little defense along the way. So overall, if you got anything that's like in the top 36, I guess, of stat product, you're probably well to do. And then also, let's not forget about the rank 26 here, which only has the 120 HP, but it does have that 128.22 attack stat. So I'd say overall those are my 1, 2, 3, 4, 14, 10 to 14 recommended IV spreads to help give you some direction here. At any rate, that's all I gotta say about the Decidueye right now. If you got any questions on this content, of course, comment below, let me know what's up, and I'll be happy to help you out. And if you enjoyed this kind of content, you want to see more like it, well, make sure to subscribe to SwagTips. I'd also like to give a special shout out to these Patreon supporters. If you want to support Swagman on Patreon, link in the description.